We've started to do some studies of what is the load across the campus. And so we've been working with the council of chairs and talking to them. And here you can kind of see in the study of FY11 faculty workload, a teaching load of 15 hours was reported for 40% of tenure track faculty.
Less than 15 or less. 15
or less. And then you can see in terms of a teaching load of 24 hours was reported for 42% of non-tenure track faculty. The question we're asking, and we're going to need the support of all the chairs and deans, is there underutilized teaching capacity in our faculty? And it might be that a faculty member has had a research portion of their load, but it's not really research active. So then a dean or a chair might have to say, well, it might be better that you have a larger teaching portion of your load. Because unless we can use the faculty time in different ways, it's difficult to figure out how we take more students with fewer faculty.
And the idea for this is not for us to have those lines returned centrally.
No.
The idea for this is to be able to fund new positions. And I think that we're going to be limited in terms of future affordability of being able to say, well, we need 10 new tenure track lines. And out of the BISREP, we gave up a lot of our tenured lines, and the second BISREP, we gave up all of those positions. So how are we going to come up with more positions? Well, the only way to do it is by trying to become more efficient. And so I've asked the deans to work with chairs and, of course, area coordinators here to try and identify where we could add teaching capacity. So let's say that Ron is going to take on an extra course in the fall and the spring because he's not research active and hasn't been for 5 years, hasn't published in 5 years, doesn't want to do that anymore, so he's going to teach another class. So the 2 part-timers that we were using to teach those 2 classes will no longer be hired, and those dollars would then go into FTE. By consolidating FTE, we can say, here, Mason, here's another position that you've been able to garner. And that's going to be really important because we won't be able to pull dollars out of thin air, and I won't be able to feed at the central trough. And so we've got to find ways to be able to create new positions. And I know in business you are extremely efficient, and many of you already teach 3-3 and maintain a research agenda, and that's great. But we do have faculty who are not research active who could teach another course and had a deal years ago. We have Regents professors who believe that they get a course off every semester because they're Regents professor. Well, actually, that's not a policy, and it's just sort of a tradition. So we're trying to find out where we've had traditions that we could kind of get past. And so the fall of 2012, if we can make some changes for the SOE time this spring and the time for fall, that would be very helpful. I just want to say that in terms of the tenure density issue, this has come up at most of the college meetings. People are worried about the fact that we have 62% overall tenure density now, and how are we going to manage to keep up our research agenda and keep up, having an active scholarly university if we don't hire tenure track. And I think we're at the point where we really can't go much further in hiring, replacing more and more tenure track faculty with non-tenure track. I think we've kind of maxed out, and it's time for us to go the other direction and to be able to reinvest. And this year we did get permission to hire 11 new tenure track, and there are some very critical areas where I think we've got to have tenure track. So I think in some areas we're getting a little bit too thin. So this would be our opportunity to be able to establish new lines.
So let me just finish on this, and then we'll open it up. If I go back, and I've been hired a fair amount of time, so I've been a chair and a dean, and now as president, one of our favorite ways that we operate the university is we want a faculty member to do something else. And so we go to them and we say, who did you release time? When you think about it, we've been doing this for 40 years in higher education, if not more. If you think about it, it's a really bad bargain. what's the most important thing faculty do? Is their contact with students, and they teach. And what we do is we buy it out. We don't actually know, but we think it's a very large number, the amount of release time that is actually out there for Lord knows how many different maybe important things.
In release time. And that is going to include, sabbaticals. Chairs generally don't teach or don't teach much, and there are a lot of assignments. And we're not saying that, if you're involved in course coordination for a really important course, we don't want to take that release away because we want that coordination, and we know it takes time. We know that there is release time for undergraduate research. Many of the science faculty who teach less than the other 5 colleges are mentoring a lot of undergraduates in research and graduate students, master's theses and doctoral dissertations in forestry and in biology and so on. And so we have to evaluate what are the critical releases that still have to be there in order to continue to accomplish our mission, and where is the give on the other end.
So imagine what we could do if we could recover 30 full FTEs from release time. We would have a pretty dramatic impact. But anyway, I want to stop there. Those are some of the things we're